name is James Frystak. I'm a wildlife cinematographer based in British Columbia. I grew up in Southern Ontario in a small town, but when I was about 19, I decided that I needed to have a change in my life and move out of that small town. And so I moved to Alberta. I ended up finding a career working as an electrician. Kind of word got around that I was kind of into this climbing and action sports photography stuff, and through a friend of a friend, I got asked to assist this National Geographic photographer, and the expedition was to go up to the summit of Mount Rainier for 10 days. When I assisted that photographer, Francois, he explained to me that it's really hard to make a real career out of it. Thought a lot more about video and started, learning how to switch from photography over to video mode. Then in 2016, within a couple of weeks of me leaving my career as an electrician, I was up in Alaska climbing Denali. At the end of that trip, we got together with some friends. This guy named Alex I was sitting next to was telling me about what his job was and that he was into filming natural history. And I was wondering if I'd be interested in assisting one day. And I said absolutely, for sure. But after a few months went by, maybe 6 or 7 months went by, the phone actually rang and I got a call from Alex saying, "Hey, we need an assistant on this shoot out in Alberta. Are you available?" So it was only like a 10-day shoot. That was kind of the start of how I got introduced into natural history and wildlife cinematography. And from that day, I was like, people get paid to do this. This is it. These are my people. This is where I want to be. This sounds so cool. So after I had worked on that first series with a company called River Road, we got the news that we got this new Netflix series. And I started out the first 2 shoots as a camera assistant. And I was out on a shoot with Chelsea Turner. I ended up getting some pretty awesome shots, I think. And I just remember distinctly Chelsea saying, "You're not an assistant. You're a camera person now, I think." And right there, I was like, "No way!" I was just like, "This is what I've been working so hard for right now." And then all of a sudden, a couple of weeks later, I get an email saying, "Hey James, we need you to go film Vancouver Island marmots on Vancouver Island. We want you to take on this story." And I was like, "Whoa, this is my first story where it's I am the cinematographer and I've got to go and capture this." And I worked my butt off. So from that series, that's when I kind of had my little break of where I became a full-time cinematographer. After Island of the Seawolves got released, I got to watch it on Netflix the same day everybody else got to. I didn't see a second of footage until it was on Netflix, just like everybody else. I was blown away. I couldn't believe how well they did at the edit. It was just, it exceeded my expectations beyond belief. So we started working on another series, and months and months and months go by, and I was up on Baffin Island, and I was working on a series about polar bears. And when I got back into cell service, I checked my email, and I see this email come in saying, "Island of the Seawolves was nominated for 7 Emmy Awards." We just could not believe it.
And the Emmy goes to Island of the Seawolves.
Accepting the Emmy, camera operator James Frystak.
Wildlife cinematography is a challenge in so many different levels. I can think, for an example, we were trying to tell a story about a polar bear and cubs, and we were up in the Arctic, and we hadn't seen any mums with cubs. There was nothing there. I'm going to shoot for National Geographic. It's a $250,000 shoot, and there's no bears to be found. So unfortunately, we just had to go home not getting the story they wanted to get. Yeah, some days we spend a tremendous amount of time sitting in blinds and waiting for animals to show up. It can be, you could go a little stir crazy sitting in that blind for 10, 12, 14 hours sometimes, especially if you're there for an extended period of time, like 2 or 3 weeks. I truly believe that wildlife stories play a crucial role in the conservation and protection of our planet. And I feel that if, let's just say, industry had its way and there weren't more storytellers and more people out there telling these stories, that I feel like industry would take over and decimate our forests more than they already have been, which leaves these animals to have nowhere to live, which will in turn change our ecosystems dramatically. these stories that we're telling gives a deeper connection for people who might not have the chance to be able to go out into these places. We can bring those places to people at home, and they can care about it in a different way, and they can appreciate it more from the comfort of their home.